special to see them again. And I'm sure that that will be the same with all of you. And your memories will be different to mine. But I remember my old Sergeant Major. I remember the chap who was my cricket umpire in Cyprus. Well done, Jack. And who was Lance Corporal Viney in squadron headquarters when I was Troop Commander Peck. But we remember all these things and they stay with us forever. Now, we don't have an evening like this so well organised without a lot of effort on behalf of a number of people, on the part of a number of people. And on behalf of all of you, I'd like to thank those who have done so much to make it a good evening. Thank you. We have over 70 here this evening. Our branch is 5 years old, and every time we meet we have over 70. And I think that's a remarkable achievement. We keep growing. Some people come, some people don't, but on the whole we have 70 plus. And it tells you something about that great thing which is important to us all, and that is our esprit de corps. I was at the Royal British Legion Surrey Poppy Appeal launch on Thursday. I have nothing to do with the Royal British Legion, but I do have something to do with SAFA. And as a result of that, they asked me if I'd go to the launch. And when I go to something like that, I always put on my passport, which is my SAFA tie, because I know that if anybody recognised my SAFA tie, I'd have somebody I can talk to. And that's exactly what happened. An in-pensioner said to me, "Hello, you're a sapper." And I said, "Yes, I am indeed a sapper." And we chatted for maybe 20 minutes until such time as I was able to feel confident enough to go around to other places. And he told me that he had been the staff assistant at Waterbeach until 1977. Before I left, I came across a chap called Tom Milne. Now, I don't know whether you know Tom Milne, but he was actually the captain of standards that evening, and he is a member of the radio branch of the Royal Engineers Association. And he asked me if I would please pass my best wishes to all of you. He was an engaging person, and it's, of course, we are all in the same thing together, and it's wonderful to be able to pass these things on. We are really proud at the moment that our present Army Chief of the General Staff is a Royal Engineer, and I'm sure you will all agree with that. Peter Wall, who was a young major at the time when I was the Engineer-in-Chief, but he was amongst a stream of young majors, all of whom it was quite clear to me were going to make their way well into the Army, has stood so well in his seniority, and he's now reached the top. And he's our first Chief of the General Staff since it became the Chief of the General Staff, since Field Marshal Lord Nicholson, who was the Chief of the Imperial General Staff in 1911 to 1913. He was, it was wonderful to find that he was the C&C of Land Command, and now it's even better that he is the Chief of the General Staff. And he has got a lot of problems to deal with, a lot of difficulties to deal with, but he's a man of great ability, and I'm sure that he will handle it well, and I'm sure that we're all delighted to have a sapper at the top of the Army. Now, it's my very special pleasure to welcome our guests this evening, General Sir John and Lady Stibbon. I've known General John since 1960, when we both attended a supplementary bridging course together at Chatham. He, being a little bit senior to me, told me what to do, and I, by and large, tried to do it without too much argument. And we got on well together, but we were also footballing chums. And we've known each other for a long time since then. We were DS together at the Staff College, and after that, he left to be the 3rd CO of 28 Amphibious Engineer Regiment. And he is actually, and I don't need to emphasize this because it's obvious, the most distinguished officer of 28 Amphibious Engineer Regiment since its creation in 1972. 71.
70.
70. I really needed to be prompted on that because when I arrived in January 1972, I had to bring my squadron from Gordon Barracks to Bindon Barracks to join the regiment which had formed up, and I wasn't quite sure whether it was 70 or 71. Thank you very much.
1st of August.
And so, well, you were the RSM, what date was it?
1st of August.
Well done. I remember you as the RSM when I arrived, and when we had that great, the great annual inspection from General Fairhockley, and yes. I bet you remember it too.
Definitely. Definitely so.
It was good. Since then, General Sir John has been a brigade commander, commandant at the Royal Military College of Science. He's been Master General of the Ordnance on the Army Board, which appointment we had when I was the Engineer-in-Chief, and with whom I had a lot of contact, and who was enormously helpful to me. There are, you know, we've had a lot of officers on the Army Board, but I think that I'm right in saying that in recent years, Master General of the Ordnance has changed, but in the old style, General Sir John was one of the sequence of officers whom we'd had. Now, in 1993, he became the Chief Royal Engineer, the father of the family of Royal Engineers. We all know who the Chief Royal Engineer meant, Chief of the General Staff. His predecessor was General O'Donoghue, and his was General Grant, and his was General Stiller. And he is the father of the core family, and he is interested in everything that goes on. He is the most distinguished officer to have served in the regiment. He's been supported by Lady Stiller throughout this period of time, and I'm sure that you will agree with me that it's a great pleasure to be able to welcome them to be with us this evening. Yeah. And I would like to just say that it was at the request of the membership here tonight that I wrote to invite him to be here. Before I finish, I have a couple of presentations to make. Are you going to help me, Jack? General Sir John, from this branch of the Royal Engineers Association, our pleasure that you should be with us this evening.
Thank you very much, Richard. I never owned a sword.
And behind every good man, there is a good woman. I've known this lady for a long time, so...